everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is V. For today's video we are going to be answering all of your assumptions, your biggest fears about university, and I'm going to be answering them and either telling you whether they're true or not true. I have not looked at them yet. Grab your cup of tea, coffee, and I hope you guys are doing well, and make sure you press subscribe if you're new because we're growing and glowing. We want to get our family to 160,000 before the end of summer. Please help me. Also, if you've been here for a while, please do press your notifications button on because I don't want you guys to miss whenever I post. And let's get straight into the assumptions. I said, what are your biggest fears and what are you dreading? And we have quite a few, as you can imagine. So the first one is you're dreading meeting flatmates. Well, I understand that because it is quite scary. You don't know who you're going to live with. You've never met these people. They might be so different to you that you guys clash, and I get the fear, I get the anxiety. However, you've got to also remember, like, this could be the most magical thing. Like, meeting people from different walks of life is so cool because they can teach you about their lives, you can teach them about yours, and you can just like blend your backgrounds together. Obviously, let's not lie, it's going to be hard if you're living with someone really messy and you're really neat and you have to like meet in the middle. But I feel like compromise is always like an option, and people often don't realize what they do until you point it out. So maybe someone's been raised in a really spoiled household where everything's done for them and they keep leaving their stuff around and expecting you to pick it up by mistake just because that's what they're used to, and then when you call them out they realize. So I think don't be afraid of that because change is always good, and this will also teach you how to like handle confrontational situations and how to like call people out. So don't fear, it's gonna be okay. But if it's not, you can always ask to like be relocated or to have that conversation with someone and say, hey, I'm not really liking what you're doing, and set your boundaries. The next one is that I'm not going to develop as a person and become a new and better me. That's absolutely false. Like, there's no way of you going backwards. You know, you're going to university, it's going to be an amazing experience, you're gonna grow, you're gonna flourish. You don't even know in what way. That's why I love the idea of university. It's not just about the grades or the exams. You come out as a well-rounded individual altogether because you're going to go through so many experiences. I think you're 100% going to come out as like a better person. Maybe you come out knowing your boundaries, knowing where you stand, knowing how to assert yourself, knowing how to not let anyone walk all over you. That's a better person. Like, there's no right or wrong way to come out of university. As long as you're developing and learn something new, challenge your ideas, and like open your mind up, then I think you have, and I think everyone's capable of doing that. You'll be finding it hard to make friends. Everyone fears being accepted, fears being in a new place and not making friends. That's a valid fear, but you shouldn't be afraid of it because there is someone out there for everyone. I feel like no matter where you go, someone's gonna relate to you, someone's gonna want to get to know you, someone's gonna, as long as you're a good person, right? If you are a good person putting out good energy and you're willing and open to meet new people, naturally people will be attracted to come in to talk to you and stuff as well. So be open-minded, be open, be ready to mingle, put the effort in, and you'll get it back to you. Next one is that I'm scared of changing my mind. Now, I don't know if you mean changing your mind about university or your course or maybe where you're living. If it's about university, it's okay. Like, you are allowed to go to university and then decide that it's not for you. Like, that is allowed. People often think that just because you've like accepted it and you've gone, you have to stay there forever. No, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Like, a good friend of mine, Beauty Spectrum, who you know is Molly, she went to university, wasn't feeling it, and she left, and she's doing amazing in life. Ruby Granger, my other friend, she went to university, didn't like her course as much as she thought she would, and switched to a course that she knew she'd prefer. She's thriving, and like everything happens for a reason. So you are allowed to go and change your mind, and like you will be fine. So don't feel like this is final and this is it, you've got to go to university, study this forever, and that's that. No, life is forever changing, so don't worry about that. The next one is a very valid one, which is about missing your parents, and I think you will 100% miss your parents, especially if you've never been away from home before. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. Just because you miss someone, it doesn't mean that it's negative. Like, you can positively miss people, right? So missing your parents just means, hey, I love you guys, I loved being at home and I miss you. However, I'm at university having an amazing time, enjoying myself, and things are going really well. But you can still miss people, doesn't mean you're having a bad time. So don't worry about that either. And also, you can always visit. If you're going to a university in the UK, you can always visit. And if you're worried about money in terms of like being able to travel back and forth, there are so many bursaries bursaries available at universities. You just got to make sure you tell your university your situation in time so that they can make the arrangements to make sure you have enough money to be able to survive and stuff, and student finance and applying for scholarships and stuff. And the other part about making money, like, don't worry too much about that, because there's bursaries, there are scholarships, there are student pots. Like, I don't know about other universities because I can only talk from experience, but at Oxford, like, literally if you needed more money and stuff like that, you could either get a job within the university. You weren't allowed to work outside of university, but they could give you a job at the bar, or they could tell you that there's a hardship fund, or there was like a fund and a bursary at your college, or there were many ways. Like, you could always talk to someone and to figure out a way of being able to get access to a little bit more money. So don't worry too much about that. And I don't know, it's just depends on your university. And before you even go, if you're already worried about it, try to like reach out now before you go, so you know what your financial situation will be when you get to university, and see what they can offer you. Someone said that they're afraid that their social life is going to suffer a lot and that their anxiety will get worse. Please don't fear this, because it really depends on what you want. For me, I wasn't the most social person at university, which always shocks everyone because they assume that because I'm so loud and so la-di-da that I would absolutely be involved in everything, and I just wasn't, because I chose not to be, and that was okay. Like, I found my group of people who I could go to whenever I wanted to, but also not be there, and they respected my space. So don't think that your social life will suffer because of, I don't know, work and like lots of studying and lots of stuff like that, because you'll always find a way to balance it. It's all about time management. If you know that you really want to make sure your social life, keep it up there, you've got to make sure you make a schedule that works for you, where you can work from morning to afternoon and have evenings off, for example. So please don't worry about it, as long as you have like a good boom boom boom. And if you're worried about your schedule as well, you can always visit like your careers advisor, or like your student advisor, or your study skills advisor. I went to see mine a lot, and she got me into shape. Not being able to do good time management, I would recommend that you watch my videos on time management, especially Joshua. When I did a collaboration with Josh, he was amazing in that video. Like, honestly broke everything down for us. You can hear a siren outside. Sorry guys, the camera died, so I'm not sure where we were, but I'm back. Imposter syndrome, that's a good one to be afraid of as well, because it's genuine. It happens to the best of us, like in the sense that everyone has applied to be at university, everyone wants to be there, and you're all like on the same level in a sense. So I guess that brings out imposter syndrome, but you shouldn't be afraid. Your background, your story, who you are, it makes you unique. Like, everyone is different, so you're going to be bringing something totally different to the table, and you shouldn't have imposter syndrome, because you're good enough, you're amazing, and you deserve to be at the institution that you're going to be at. But I also do understand that it's still difficult, still tricky, because you feel like, oh my god, am I good enough, am I not? My imposter syndrome didn't shake off until like my final year and now I've got it again for Harvard. So honestly, maybe I needed this video myself, because I clearly don't have the answers here. But once again, if anyone's got advice about imposter syndrome, put it in the comments, and let's all give each other advice. The next one is that I've forgotten how to learn. I get that one completely, because when you've spent an entire summer not doing anything, you feel like, do I even know how to write? Your hand isn't used to writing. But don't worry, honestly, you get back into the swing of things after a week or so. You'll be back into it. You'll be surprised how quick like your brain adapts back to that zone of learning and things. So don't worry about that. That's gonna like get itself together quite quickly. Someone said being older than others. Now that one, 100% don't be scared. A lot of people have taken gap years. Some people have taken 2 gap years. Everyone's at a different stage in their life, and when you get to uni, age doesn't really matter so much anymore, because some people start earlier. Some people come at like 16 or 17 because they skipped grades, or some people come later because they had gap years or family situations, and you're all just mixed up together. All you know is we're all about the range of 18 to 23, and that's all that matters, and like age is just not a thing. A lot of them are quite the same about workload, time management, workload, not finding a job, going broke, and that's all to do with planning. I think like financial planning, planning for your degree, planning out your time. The next one is failing. Now we're going to end with that one because that's quite important. You can't be afraid of failing. It's a part of life. Like if you do fail, it's a part of life. You have to get up, dust yourself off, and like try again. And I'm a big advocate for that. Like I've always had like a mixture of fluctuation of grades, and I've just learned to be okay with it, because what can you do? Like honestly, it's a part of life. This is not going to be the first thing that you fail, and it's not going to be the last. You might get to your job and something else happens there. You might get to being a parent and you might do something wrong there. Like it's just a part of life. It's just what's more important is learning how to like bounce back from those moments of failure, as you may. So don't be afraid of failing. It will be a chance for you to try new methods, for you to learn how you learn best, learn what works for you, and learn how to reprioritize and stuff like that. So take everything as like a blessing in disguise, as a lesson that you can learn from. But someone was just saying like imposter syndrome overall, and just feeling like you don't belong, or thinking, oh my god, I don't drink and I don't go out as much and all of that kind of stuff. Don't worry about it. I didn't go out. I wasn't a big person for drinking, clubbing, going out, all of that kind of stuff. I just didn't fancy it because I just had like a different goal for my time at university. It wasn't necessarily focused on just grades, it wasn't just focused on going out, it was something more about the experience overall. So I definitely did not fit in the drinking and clubbing scene either, and I still made my good friends, and I think you'll find your people regardless. So please don't worry about it. And I've always said in all of my videos, I've repeated this over and over again, you are a key and you don't want to change yourself, because the day you find the lock that you're supposed to unlock, if you've changed and shaped and remolded yourself, you won't fit where you're supposed to fit in the first place. So stay true to yourself and you will eventually find your people. And also, you don't want to have friends based on the fact that you love going clubbing and when you really don't, because you can't keep that up. You know, you've got to be true to yourself and stay true to who you are. I hope I've tackled some of your biggest fears about university and that it helped. I'm just scared of my camera battery dying again, so I'm gonna go now. And if you have any more questions, we can make a part 2, absolutely no problems. And I just hope you guys enjoyed, and that, you know, it's gonna help you feel calm for university. It'll be the best time of your life, so enjoy it, live it, and love it. I'm gonna see you guys very soon. I love you so much, and see you soon. Bye.